It was a surprisingly big NHL trading day on Wednesday, and three Pacific Division teams were involved. We will weigh the impact of those moves coming up next, right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi again, everyone, from Las Vegas, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick, and we appreciate you making us your first listen every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast, of course, and please make sure to subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. We are brought to you today by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL, and you will receive $20 off of your first purchase. Chris, a little over a week before the NHL draft and the trading window was open on Wednesday, the Pacific Division trades with goalies at the forefront. So I'm going to go through each of these three deals and then these three teams that were involved. And I just want to get your feedback and some impact, if any, on the Pacific Division and how these moves will affect each team. So I want to start off with our favorite team, Cal, Gary, trading away Jacob Markstrom, trading him to New Jersey. Finally, this deal goes through. The Flames and Devils, remember, they tried to have this trade pulled off at the deadline. The Devils instead had to settle on Jake Allen, and New Jersey has been a bottom 8 team in save percentage in 3 of the past 4 seasons. In return, Gary gets a 6'6" defenseman, Kevin Ball, sent to the Flames, plus a 2025 first-round draft pick, and the youth movement continues in Calgary.
Flames used to have a really good team, huh? I mean,
Yeah.
all the players that have been traded away, and you just...
Again, like the latest moves, right, within maybe the last year, Chris Tanev, Nikita Zadorov, Elias Lindholm, and now this move.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty remarkable, and also shows what a dumpster fire of a situation it is. It is up and over, right? I guess it's not just up there, but it's up and over, and it's fascinating to watch the rebuild. I think the biggest beneficiary, you mentioned the youth movement, Dustin Wolf, goaltender. Dan Vladar is fine, but he's who he is. Dustin Wolf is probably the future goaltender. We've seen him a lot down here playing with the Wranglers. And just he's really good at playing the puck. That's just my biggest takeaway about Dustin Wolf. Really good at playing the puck behind the net and stuff. And very mobile, very agile, kind of like a Marc-Andre Fleury type who maybe gets a little quirky and out of position at times, but has a very good recovery. So we'll see how that ends up playing out for the Flames. I think they got a prospect involved as well. Was that Kevin Ball, defenseman Kevin Ball? I don't know what his situation is a whole lot.
23 years old.
Yep, and then looks like there's a top 10 protected first round draft pick involved in this as well. So we'll see how that shakes out. But I mean, it's a necessary move for the Flames and the Devils. Jake Allen, right? They acquired Jake Allen, but it felt like too little, too late for the Devils. So now the Devils got a nice little tandem over there, and we'll see if the Devils can take that next step because they're on the youth movement as well. But you know, the Hughes brothers are obviously popping and stuff, and you got a lot of other really good players in New Jersey, and we'll see how it works out.
Dustin Wolf, also just 23 years of age. Gary retains 31% of the cap hit, and these are deals. We'll talk about it in our second segment.
Retain cap hit. That's a crusher in any deal.
That's what VGK needs. That's what they're going to need.
Is
to get someone involved.
They give everything. They find will and dance partners to take money. How much money does the VGK have off the books last year, I wonder, from an AAV perspective?
Parking lot, bro. Parking lot. The Kings trading away disgruntled Pierre-Luc Dubois to the Capitals in exchange for Darcy Kemper. Dubois, his 4th team, Chris, since 2016. The malcontent. Kemper, 13, 14, and 3 with Washington, an .890 save percentage. And Cam Talbot played 54 games. David Rittich, 24. Talbot last season lost his job late in the season to Rittich. So you've got a pretty good 1-2 there with Rittich and Darcy Kemper. Will this move be a positive move for the LA Kings now, because they're also getting rid of a 37-year-old goaltender in Cam Talbot?
So basically, here's what the trade is. When you look at the totality, I just put this up on Twitter, but Velarde, Iafallo, Kapari,
Oh man,
Pierre-Luc
they
Dubois,
lost, right?
Pierre-Luc Dubois, and a second-round pick, all for Darcy Kemper. That's the totality of the deal. When you look at it from a big picture perspective, Rob Blake, that's not good, bro. But when you look at pulling off the Band-Aid, when you look at how he got out of the Pierre-Luc Dubois deal in a 1-for-1 with Darcy Kemper, it basically saves the team $3 million and change on a yearly AAV perspective. I think Kemper's term is only 2 or 3 more years versus Pierre-Luc Dubois is like another 5 or 6 years, or just something asinine like that. So, I mean, Rob Blake found a way to at least get out of the deal, and he did it without a buyout. He did it without any salary retainment. So, credit Rob Blake for knowing that he effed around and found out with Pierre-Luc Dubois, and now we'll see if Alex Ovechkin can get him on the right track. I mean, Pierre-Luc Dubois, like, he puts up some numbers and stuff, but there's just something ain't right there. Something ain't right. There was something in LA. I mean, what, 4th team in 8 years, you said, right?
4th team since 2016.
Yeah, 4th team in 8 years. Let's see if I can pull up really quickly what his I think he's got potential to be like a 30 goal scorer, doesn't he? I mean, all right, 20 goals, 27, 28, 27, 28, and then 40 points last year. 40 points last year. That's terrible. But again, his ceiling is a 60-point player. 2018-19, 61 points. 60 points with the Jets in 21-22. 63 and 22-23. Pretty healthy player. Plays about 70, 75, 80 games most of the time. Played in the queue, Tony. Played in the queue. He's a QMJHL transplant. So dude's got a huge ceiling for that. So I don't know. I mean, this is like a weird Ivan Barbashev type of player, where I think they signed him to be more like a Jonathan Marchessault type of player. That makes sense.
It does. One more trade in the Pacific, as center winger Ty Dellandrea sent from Dallas to San Jose in exchange for a 2025 4th-round draft pick. And then the surprising move, even though we saw it coming, the Sharks claiming Barclay Goodrow off of waivers from the Rangers. And according to Goodrow and his agent, this was one of 15 no-trade teams on his list. How's this going to work out?
Because the trade situation, I think his trade no trade kicks in July 15th or July 1st or something like that.
Burn,
so
that's
but
bad.
the other part that's terrible about this is the 2 GMs, the Rangers GM and the Sharks GM, are supposedly buddy here. So this is an absolute fleece job and a half. And I mean, no offense, but Goodrow goes from a Stanley Cup contending team to the Sharks. Like, what else is there to say right there? He goes to the Sharks. And in that situation, I mean, it's just, I don't know if there's like if that's something the NHLPA looks into, maybe just to see if there's any shenanigans that shook out from that. I don't know, but it's there's a lot of words I'd like to use for that situation that we're not supposed to on this. Going back to Dellandrea, that's definitely an interesting move right there, because it's a 4th-round draft pick. Are the Dallas Stars going to be able to replace Dellandrea with a 4th-round draft pick? I don't know if it's not going to be this year. I mean, not many 4th-round draft picks pan out early on, and it's a lottery ticket of 3, 4, 5 years from now if that 4th-round draft pick is even going to be in the American League, let alone the National Hockey League. Dellandrea, 1 point or cap hit. I mean, 8.6. Is he free agent? No, 23, 24, 900,000. So it looks like all he did is they traded his rights, if I'm looking at this correctly, because he doesn't have a contract beyond 24, 25. So maybe that's probably what's going on there, just trading the rights and see if a long-term deal is made. Maybe he wants more than $1.4 million. I don't know.
Yeah, so with the Rangers situation, they had to put Goodrow on waivers because of salary cap constraints. There is no salary cap, by the way, here in Vegas, so we don't have to deal with that. This is the year, or was the year, perhaps, of free agency, the year of the goalie. And now, of course, you've got a couple gone, and you also have out there Linus Ullmark, UC Saros. Those are the two big names remaining, and there's a lot of chatter about those two goaltenders right now.
You got to wonder if there's any Vegas influence there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Aiden and Logan, that situation is what it is, but Aiden and Logan are both unrestricted free agents after this upcoming season. I've been very clear that I believe neither goalie is the long-term future of the Vegas Golden Knights. I believe I'll double down and say neither goalie will be on the books after the 24-25 season, if not even sooner, possibly for Logan in the offseason.
For Logan.
I'm not saying I want this to happen by any means.
He's in the Marner trade. Come on.
If there's a Marner trade, I think Logan is heavily involved, definitely. Or maybe there's something there with Ullmark before free agency opens, trading the rights or something like that. But just back to Dellandre, I pulled his numbers up really fast here. 28 goals 2 seasons ago, or 28 points 2 seasons ago with the Stars. Only 9 points, but only played 42 games. So his pace was close. He fell off a little bit. But AHL, dude is a 50-point scorer in 68 games. So there seems like there's a high ceiling right there. So I'm not sure if they couldn't come to a deal in the offseason, if that's why they made the deal, but that seems a little strange. But back to the Golden Knights. I mean, Saros, Ullmark, you never know. You never know with the Vegas
Golden Knights today, you think? They're kicking tires.
Maybe on Ullmark. Wonder, and this will be the second segment, but do you
think Cassidy likes Ullmark enough to maybe have some influence?
How much crossover did they have? I guess that's my first question. I don't know how many years they crossed over. I can find that out in a second.
Yeah, you can look that up. You can look that up for the next segment. Yeah, you want to do that?
I'll get it right now before you even start the second segment.
Wow, you are pretty quick today.
So Ullmark, Boston Bruins 21-22. So one full season with Cassidy, 41 games played. 245, 917 goals against. I mean, sure. Ullmark, let's go. Let it up.
Go.
Ullmark to Vegas season.
Out of those three moves, best one, do you feel the Kings benefit the most there, getting PLD off the books and then signing Darcy Kemper? Do you think that's
I think that's the biggest benefit for the Kings. Sure. I don't know if Darcy Kemper is the answer. Is it going to be
they get rid of the
malcontent? Is that going to be the
they get rid of the malcontent who was awful in the locker room?
No doubt. But the Kings and goaltending issues seemed, since Jonathan Quick has left, even when Jonathan Quick was there in the end, they've had many goaltending issues.
An upgrade though, again from Talbot.
That's what I was asking. So Talbot's gone. Is it Rittich then? No. Who's going to be chopping it up there?
Rittich, and it'll be Rittich. They still have Phoenix Copley, right? And then, of course, I
think Copley's out of the equation. I don't know, but I mean,
I don't know what happened. They benefit. He was on the upward rise trajectory.
Kings benefits. Flames, they run in place, but that 31% salary retainment that hurts. The Dellandre deal is a non-starter, I think, as far as Dallas is concerned. Sharks, I mean, they're just trying to. The Sharks can, this is why Dellandre took that trade. They're going to overpay the crap out of him to hit the salary cap floor. So he's going there on a bridge deal to get $3 million, and he's going to get the heck out of it.
Good for him. Yeah. Coming up next, will these trades, especially with the moves in the division, force VGK to get actively involved in the trade market themselves sooner than expected? We'll get to that when we return right here on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Gametime makes getting NHL draft tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Gametime app actually go down the closer that it gets to the start of that big event coming up in a week here in Las Vegas. And you can also order Stanley Cup tickets, which are rising. They're pretty much through the roof right now between Edmonton and Florida. For game number 6, you get last-minute ticket deals, flash deals, zone deals, easy to find. And you can also buy Major League Baseball tickets in abundance for each and every kind of event that you can possibly find there online. Priority, you've got last-minute deals. Save up to 60% off when you buy these last-minute tickets for sports, for concerts, for comedy, like you get on this show each and every day, for theater, etc. All in pricing. I like that. You go to the toggling this feature, and it will show you the total up front with no surprises at checkout. You get seat views, lowest price guaranteed on Gametime. They'll credit you 110% of the difference. And you can take the guesswork out of buying your tickets, especially for the upcoming NHL draft here in Las Vegas with Gametime. Download the Gametime app today, create an account, use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL. You will receive $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Use the redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Welcome back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights from Las Vegas. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick reporting. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. Tomorrow's WTF day right here. Get everything lined up, all of your comments today. We sure do appreciate that. And then on Saturdays, the Chris and Chris Jr. Show, the YouTube exclusive. And we do have some breaking news. Some breaking news, of course, not broken by any stretch here in Las Vegas. So I'm just trying to get this all together here. But it was something that was apparent. The news breaking today, Anthony Mantha has to find a new home officially. He told Catherine Savoy of Canadian Press he was informed by the Vegas Golden Knights that he will not be re-signed by the team. Of course, VGK hired him at the trade deadline, but here goes VGK, wheels in motion, right? You think?
Yeah, I mean, this was kind of known for a while, but I guess Mantha finally just confirmed it. So there's that. Cheapest ticket to walk into Alberta, Edmonton for the game tomorrow night's like $11.50, and that's to sit way
$11.50.
Yeah, exactly. 1,150 American USD.
Clams,
so that's
American clams.
That's going to cost you a couple bucks right there. No, I mean, listen, Mantha's not a surprise. We knew that, but
it's breaking news.
I mean, we'll take breaking news. Sure, if
breaking news.
It's June 20th, we're trying, so I get it.
Okay, so we have that out of the way, but that's good that came in before the end of the show. Again, they only talk to Canadian press around here. With Wednesday's early trades, will this now force VGK to get into the game before players on the free agent market, on the free agency list, Chris, and others with expiring contracts are gone? I could see VGK now starting to accelerate the process. Oh, I like saying that word. The McEgos, they don't want to be outdone. The McEgos.
Speaking of outdone, I guess the NHL was pissed off about
McEgos.
Oh,
I was going to call one of them the Grimace.
The NHL's got the ego right now. I guess the NHL is pissed off about all these trades happening around the Stanley Cup Final and upstaging the Cup Final, which I think nothing upstages what's happening right now.
I'm surprised Tom Brady didn't announce a comeback.
That's pretty funny. I guess the question I have is like the trade deadline is like wearing white after Labor Day. Like when can you actually wear white? Because everything is after Labor Day. So
no. Right after Memorial Day, from Memorial Day
whatever
until Labor Day, right there.
That's how it works. Okay. So yes. I guess my question is, why doesn't the NHL have a hard deadline? And what I mean when I say hard deadline, why can't they freeze all trades from the trade deadline until, let's say, 48 hours before the draft? If they don't want this to happen. What do they
have, the holiday freeze? What is the freeze that they have in the NHL?
There's a holiday freeze, too, right around Christmas as well.
That's what I thought. Well, they could have done this during the Cup Final. Why not?
There's a lot of things they could. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. I don't get it. But obviously, and you see these trades happen all the time. And not that the Oilers and the Florida Panthers are thinking about making trades right now, but making trades are the farthest thing from their mind, but watching other teams make deals while they're, I don't know. I never like the optics of it as well, but whatever, moving on. The original question, does this loosen up McCrimmon a little bit and McPhee to, start getting some things going right now? And that's definitely an interesting take. What assets do the Golden Knights have to trade is the first question. And what is their reasoning for trading? Obviously, if it's to free up cap space so they can extend Marchessault, because $6.2 million ain't going to do it for two reasons. One, he's going to want more than 6.2 AAV And number two, you need another $3 or $4 million to work with to extend Patera, to extend Korzak. I think those are the only two RFAs right now. And then I'm sure the Golden Knights would like to kick the tires on a couple of bargain bin, fines. I've again, Oscar Olofsson, Kevin LeBlanc, and Dakota Joshua. Those are three players that still just are on my radar for whatever reason for the Golden Knights to take a flyer on, no pun intended, Philadelphia. So yeah, I mean, what does McCrimmon do right now? Now that he sees there's some people loosened up a little bit, is this where McCrimmon, tries to start making things happen? Do they trade the rights to Jonathan Marchessault to another franchise, another organization right now? That's another thing. Maybe you can get a small asset in return. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a trade, but it's kind of not a trade. Kind of like the Barclay Goudreau situation, right?
No, man, that guy.
That's so
I wonder
dirty.
how that's going to shake
That
out.
is so dirty. That's so.
I wonder
dirty.
how it'll shake out because
he wants to be there as much as
you want to be there. As you want to be
as much
there.
as who got traded to Anaheim, but
you want to be doing Locked On Sharks is what you want to do.
I would love to do Locked On Shark. No, God, no. No, who the Golden Knight player that got traded to the Ducks, but it got nixed and he had to come back.
Dadonov?
Yeah, Dadonov. This is Dadonov 2.0 right now, Goudreau.
Is VGK looking for those deals, as we sort of mentioned in that first segment, like Cal Gary, where they return part of the salary there, like we saw in the Markstrom deal? You have to pose that question.
I mean, listen, VGK loves, and this is kind of like a parking lot thing here, but VGK loves finding ways to get people to retain salaries. And you look at the Hannafin and the Hannafin and Mantha deals. For what VGK was on the books for those two players in the 23-24 season was just remarkable. And we'll see what McCrimmon has up his sleeve, obviously, as the draft approaches. And, getting all those GMs under one roof, whether it's at the Sphere, last time that's going to be a centralized draft, or getting everyone in the center bars at the Venetian, or up in the high limit gaming saloons at Venetian and the Palazzo over there. You get them in the back, a little private area to talk some turkey. We'll see what comes out. I would love to read a book from a GM about drunken trades where there's two GMs just sitting at the bar, smoking a stogie, putting back some old fashions, putting back some stiff drinks, and a deal that came about because they were just both completely poop faced. And maybe that's how the first Pierre-Luc Dubois trade happened in LA.
Okay, we're going to have to start setting odds for all executives and coaches. Who is most likely to get 86th from the center bar there at the Venetian? And I'm going to take a flyer.
I'll start with Zito. He was pretty pissed off the other night.
Yeah, we're going to get to Zito in a moment here. But yeah, he was pretty mad. But what about Pete DeBoer? He's a contender. Remember,
he's a contender. Yeah,
he was so hungover. Remember, for coaching the All-Star game here.
That was pretty awesome. But I mean, I'm back to the topic.
22-1.
What's that? 22-1. What?
I'm taking DeBoer.
Oh, fair enough. 22-1. That's pretty good. But that's probably the clubhouse favorite there. I mean, but listen, McCrimmon is always kicking tires. I don't think if McCrimmon's talking, he's selling, right? I don't think McCrimmon just shoots the breeze to shoot the breeze with people. I think McCrimmon is always looking for an angle, looking for a deal, looking to improve the Golden Knights short-term, mid-term, and even long-term. There were some good long-term trades made last year. We'll see if Hurdle hopefully is one of those at age 30 coming in the next year. But McCrimmon's looking, and you definitely have a little bit of it's loosened up a little bit right now, right? It's like the first couple levels in a poker tournament. Everyone's playing conservatively, making sure they don't lose a bunch of chips. And now you see a couple of big pots happen, a couple of big trades happen. Now the poker game started, and I think McCrimmon, he's been working the phones, but I think now he even starts working the phones a little bit harder.
They're going to have to jump in. They're going to have to do something because they do not.
Well, they have to. They have to. If
and someone's that they want on their radar is going to be gone.
If Marchessault is leaving Las Vegas, Nicolas Cage, then if he's staying in Las Vegas, something needs to happen. If he's staying in Vegas, something needs to happen. If he's leaving, Vegas could be quiet and just work. They might work the free agent market, which I'm okay with that too.
Coming up next, the latest on the Stanley Cup Final. Stay with right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Hey, Locked On Golden Knights fans, we want to take a moment to bring up one of our partners, the mobile game Ultimate Hockey GM. Chris and I really like this game. Have you ever dreamed of becoming an NHL general manager and managing your very own hockey franchise? Would you start making trades today? Do you think that you could run VGK better than the current GM, Kelly McCrimmon? Well, your dream can come true, and this game is most definitely for you. Manage every strategic aspect of your team, play through the seasons, and lead it to glory. Hire the right coaches and staff, trade players or draft picks. There are no draft picks left for VGK to trade. Navigate through free agency and the draft upcoming next week. It's all in a challenging and realistic game world. As the Golden Knights, as you know, and as a Golden Knights fan, you should know that there is no off season. That's why we are still doing Locked On Golden Knights. GMs are constantly making moves at every point of the year to improve their team's chances. And that's why we think that you are going to absolutely love this game. Ultimate Hockey GM, completely free and playable offline. Play on the go as you want and when you want to. By the way, Locked On Network listeners get 100% free boost to their franchise when using the promo code Locked On NHL in the game store. So make sure to check it out. To download the game today, just visit hockeygm.app, hockeygm.app, or look it up in the app stores. Ultimate Hockey GM, start your dynasty today. Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights, Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick. Chris really enjoys that read from me. We appreciate you making us your first listen.
Like a video
I
game.
had lived a little, just a tad. But I'm a good salesman, though, right? I think I got the attention of folks out there. Fridays, WTF. Saturdays, Chris and Chris Jr. Show, YouTube exclusive. Out there to all of our fans, I don't know if you saw it or not. You kind of alluded to it there right before the break. The video of Panthers general manager Bill Zito throwing a water bottle after Connor McDavid scored the late empty net goal to seal the Game 5 win. Is this a team now that is starting again, starts at the top in an organization that you can see frustration starting to set in? It's the first thing that came to my mind.
How do you not? I mean, it's they lose the one game in Edmonton. I don't think anyone didn't see that coming, right? And would have been nice for Florida to win from their perspective, but they didn't. So that's fine. You move on, kind of like the Golden Knights, right? 2-0 lead against Florida last year. Florida takes a close game 3. Vegas takes a close game 4, and obviously the rest is history after that. You miss once on a chance to secure the cup. Okay, fine, whatever. No one's going to lose any sleep, I don't think. You go home, and whether Florida was too amped up or whatever it was, obviously Edmonton wins a tough, close game, despite having multiple goal leads a couple different times in the game. So now they got to go back to Alberta, that long plane ride that was 3,000 whatever miles or something, and it's going to be a very interesting situation. And on the Edmonton side here, I think the only concern, there's 2 concerns. One, this is the trap. This is the trap game of the series right now. Yes, everyone, I think, expects Edmonton to win this game, which I think is possibly why it's the trap game, right? Edmonton, I think, needs to stay out of their own way in Game 6, and we'll probably talk a little bit more about this tomorrow, but Edmonton needs to stay out of their own way and focus on what got them to this. The good Game 1 performance that didn't go their way, but it was a good Game 1 performance, and obviously how well they played in Games 4 and 5. If they get too amped up and let the crowd control things too much, that could come back to bite the Edmonton Oilers, especially early on, possibly a lapse or a miscue or a mistake. But if Edmonton can get through the first 8 to 10 to 12 minutes of that game on level ground, I think Edmonton can roll. But Florida is going to come out very hot. They need the first goal. Florida's got to get the first goal. If Edmonton gets the first goal, I don't think there's any looking back for the Oilers in that game.
Edmonton now, the power play unit's starting to cook. Of course, shorthanded goal. Special teams have been so important. Edmonton's speed. The thing that I noticed, they're having no difficulties now in getting the puck through the neutral zone, whereas they had some issues early on.
And multiple lines are contributing. It's not just the McDavid. It is the McDavid show, but it's not just the McDavid show.
What about the Nurse line? He's still. I'm still gonna. I still need.
You are
think
never
come
going to
back and
live
win.
Nurse
I
down.
think
This
he's
is
gonna
funny.
win the Conn Smythe. Paul
What's Tony
Maurice,
more obsessed with, Darnell Nurse or William Karlsson, guys? What if Darnell Nurse and William Karlsson are
I
on the same
wanted him to
team one
set the
day?
record.
Karlsson would get one. You get one of those jerseys split right down the middle with
I would
both of
get
them
it
on it.
split down the middle. If they were playing each other in the playoffs, I probably would have done that. Paul Maurice tells his team, right, you need to stay out of the penalty box. 12 minor penalties combined in games 4 and 5. 12 penalties, Chris. That's an awful lot. And for them to succeed, and so they don't have to play a 7th game on Monday in South Florida, they're going to have to stay out of the penalty box. Plain and simple, that's the number one key. Has to be.
Yeah, I mean, but Florida on the power play has been much better. That's the other side of that.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a line shift here. We got a big line shift. So when yesterday morning, when we were talking about the Conn Smythe situation, McDavid was minus 145.
Unreal.
What's he now?
200.
Exactly.
Is he?
Minus 200
minus
at
200.
the
He's
book
gonna
I
win
just
it.
saw. He's
He's
minus
going to win
200.
it. Win or lose, he will win it. He'll become the first player since Reggie Leach in the 70s.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
but you've been saying this, since what, game 3, 4?
I said this
Uh,
thing goes 6 games, McDavid wins the Conn Smythe. That's what I said.
yeah.
This
And
thing
you
goes
said even
6
if they
days,
lose, right.
McDavid wins the Conn Smythe. He's 5 points away from history. I know it's a little bit skewed because of the number of games played between McDavid and Gretzky, but so what? So friggin' what? He's on pace to put up possibly 50 points in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and that would be like 14 or 15 points in the final on that pace, right? Because he's got 8 points in the last 2 games. I think he's 7 points away from 50 for the playoff. It's remarkable. It's what we're watching with McDavid is just phenomenal, and we're all fortunate that he's getting to do it on the biggest stage on the planet. It's good for the game of hockey right now for everyone to just experience
Mick
McDavid.
overrated.
42 points. Yeah, Mick overrated.
overrated.
I got a feeling I know what both of our WTFs are going to be. We got to find that post, and people just got to be torching that guy right now. That Florida homer's got to be being this torch. He's getting dragged harder than Staples up in Edmonton for the homer takes he has.
We appreciate everyone tuning in. We're back again tomorrow with WTF.
I'm all over David Staples. I don't know why.
That's your guy, and this is your team.
And I like Staples.
You root against and you like Edmonton.
He's a homer. He's a
You're
homer.
a homer. You're an Edmonton homer.
I'm a McDavid homer. Tomorrow I'm busting on my McDavid cards on the show tomorrow. I'm going to show you why I'm a McDavid homer.
Okay, you want him to definitely get the Conn Smythe, so the value of your cards goes up.
Yeah, I got like $5,000 in cards. I want to become like $8,000 in cards tomorrow.
Okay, there we go. That's very smart.
Oh, what it is.
We appreciate you tuning in, especially our everydayers. From a man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. We're out of here. We'll see you again tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights, and please take care.